Hi everyone and welcome to FreeFlight. This is a basic introduction to new members or new clubs and we're going to be looking at the members admin. Now when you get your details from your club, you will be directed to go to this URL here at the top. Now some clubs will hide that and put a special link in their members website that you can click on. Or you can just copy this section here and put it into your browser, and eventually you'll end up at this login screen here. Now again, the business space will be whatever it is for your club, and that will be sent to you normally via email by your club administrators. Your username is your membership number, and I'm going to log in with one of ours. And your password again will have been sent to you by your system administrators. Just type it in. So now that you gain access, let me very quickly introduce you to the main screens here. At the top you can see I'm seeing my account balance. So I'm in credit, so I don't have to worry about that for the time being, but later on I'll show you how to look at your statements so you can check the transactions to make sure everything's okay. Over on the right here you'll see a section that says meet the duty teams, and in there normally on a flying day you'll find the list of people who are on duty that day. This section here is purely advertising space. Your club will promote activity in there if you've got a particular task week or any other kind of competition week coming up. You'll see the details in there. Not my call, but your club may open that section up to allow you to buy or sell glider related equipment or post notices about other upcoming events. On this side, the key one is a message from the instructors, and your club will be encouraging the instructors to use this facility to put the details on about the prognosis for flying on any given day. You can see this one is for Sunday the 26th, and here we've got a good prognosis. There's no times in the area, briefing times, training availability, etc, etc. You'll find that once you get to know and like FreeFlight, you'll be finding yourself logging in quite a few times during the week just to check the forecast out and the likelihood of flying before you make the trip to the club. Down below is where we encourage you all to sign in if you're intending to come flying. This is very useful for your instructors, and it's very useful for the club, because the idea here is that you tell them what you want to try and do and achieve on the day, and they will do their best to accommodate you. It also means if there's a lot of people for two-seater training, then the club may be able to pull in extra resources with an extra instructor or something. Don't worry about the yellow, red and green, that's very specific to Camp Hill. And over here we encourage you to upload a head and shoulders photograph of you, and this is really to help newer members to get to know people and get to know who they are and their names, etc. There's a horrible feeling going around sometimes saying to people at the launch point, I'm very sorry but I don't know your name, what's your name? Well, now you can pull up the mugshots and find out who they are. These sections may or may not be used. They certainly won't be used in the early days probably, but if there are any jobs that need doing around the club, then your project manager will be able to list them on here, and you can sign up as a volunteer to help do that job. Upcoming duties have been left on there for the time being, but in actual fact you find them now on a separate tab called duty crews. Now at the moment, just coming out of lockdown, I can't actually show you anything in here because it's all totally volunteer based at the moment, but what I might do is put another video together using the test database so that you can see it in action. Essentially the system will allow you to arrange duty swaps if you find yourself on duty and you can't make it, and a host of other things as well. So that's the basic screen. Look out for it happening. It's obviously all not going to get populated on day one. The key thing is that you're going to be logging flights from now on in within the system, and it means that your accounts are always going to be up to date. Main thing I want to show you today is this section called My Stuff. If we open it up, you'll see quite a lot of things here, and the main one is My Details. So the first thing you should do when you gain entry into the system, you'll have been given a default password. You should change the password immediately. Do not hang around with it as a default password. Change it to something that you recognize, something that's memorable to you. There's no limit on the number and the type of characters you put in there. So try and make it a strong password. Use uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters like slashes and question marks and full stops and what have you. A lot of stuff in here you can't change, but mainly the stuff that you can change are your contact details. So instead of saying in the future, oh, I've changed my email address, can you change it for me on the club records? Don't shout at your admin people, but the answer may well come back no, but you can do it yourself. We want to try and encourage as many people doing as little as possible, rather than one or two people doing just about everything in the club. So keep your contact details up to date, keep your telephone numbers up to date, keep your email address up to date, and you can also look around at what other information the club holds on you. For instance, your next of kin data you can change. Your flying data you can look at when you last flew, what your flying status is, what your currency is. More importantly, make sure that your date medical renewed is correct. If there's nothing in there, then notify the club so that they can enter that, because the system will send out reminders when it's time for you to renew your medical. Your duties, your skills that you own. If you don't see a skill, if you've got a particular skill, like you're a woodworker or a welder or anything that might be useful to the club, then add yourself to the skills list. If the club needs you, they'll be able to call upon you. Notable flights will need leave to another time. Here you'll find details of your logbook, and it's normally split into two. You can see your logbook as a P1 and your logbook as a P2, and then of course there's the financial one. At the top here you'll find one that says statements. Okay, without going into there and getting involved in all the tabs, you'll also find your statements on the left hand menu, which is My Account. So I'm going to close that down now, and I'm going to My Account. And these are all my statements going back to the start of the system, and they will always be there for you. So you've got a query about a particular balance that you think it might be a little bit less or a little bit more, then you can come in here and look at your statements. And the way to drill down into a statement is to simply click on the little arrow and look at the transactions that make up that payment. So in a statement line you've got the dates that the statement runs from and to, and that's usually on a monthly basis. Well, not usually, it is on a monthly basis. You have an opening balance, you have the charges incurred in that particular month, the payments, any adjustments that may have had to be made, any credits that have been applied to your account, purchases that you've been credited with. That's when you've bought something on behalf of the club, and you've elected for it to be put onto your account rather than receiving the money for it. And then you've got a closing balance, which is £15.07 in this case. And if I want to see what all those transactions are, you open it up and you can look at them in greater detail. Any line on a grid like this you can expand to see more of it. So I've been credited with the value of the annual support for FreeFlight, because obviously I'm a member of this club, so I offset it against my membership fees. Other people may buy things on behalf of the club, like I don't know, wood or metal or spare parts for the tractors and things, and claim it back on expenses. That's the way it works. So you've seen my accounts, my details. The next thing I want to do, rather embarrassingly, is look at my logbook. So I can look at the logbook, and you can see it's in date order with the flights that I've achieved on that day. Total hours are totaled up at the bottom, and as with any grid, you can refine the list. So if I, for instance, want to look to see if I've had any launch failure training or any real launch phases, I can apply a filter, and I'll say is equal to yes. So there, quite a while ago, so I maybe need to get in the air and ask for some launch failure training, because I'm a little bit out of currency there. So that's it for the basic introduction. There's lots of stuff in here that you can look at. You can't actually break the system, or if you can, then tell somebody and they'll call me and I'll make sure you can't break it in the future. But just have a play around, have a look at things. Not everything will be available on day one. It's going to take time. It may take 2 or 3 months to get everything populated, but you'll find a whole host of benefits along the way, like your account balances and your personal logbooks, update and available on demand from the comfort of your own home, like the aircraft logbooks, all fully up to date and available on demand for the aircraft officers and other officers in the club that might require that information. So yeah, that's all for now. I hope to see you all in the next video tutorial, and we look forward to seeing you all sometime in the very near future. Bye for now.